I'm Xander from the What's Update. I am the co-director and co-producer of the project you see before you. This is a project that's very near and dear to our hearts and something we wanted to get involved with for some time now. Trans people and drag queens in Texas are getting constantly slagged by the Texas government, and we don't like that. I figure the best way to fight against that is through knowledge and education. Thus, the project Drag in the Heart of Texas. So, whatever you can, if you can give, please give generously. We really feel like this is an important thing to get out there, and we want to do it as well as we can. And for that, we need resources and the proper equipment to do so. So, once again, if you can give, please give generously. I'm Xander, and this is Drag in the Heart of Texas.
Recorded in front of a live studio audience with a real live host in Round Rock, Texas. It's the What's Update with Xander Quation.
Season 5.
Not made by robots.
Welcome to the What's Update. I'm Xander Quation. Here's what happened. In a huge no surprise to anyone, temperatures soared in June, July, August, and September, breaking records for the highest average global temperatures so far.
What? I'm so surprised.
What's up, Craig?
As a result, many Americans worry about how this will affect their relationship with the summer months in the future, and how they can ever get back to those classic summer pastimes. In Texas, a classic summer pastime is checking the thermostat to see if the AC is still running. Anybody who's worried about the heat keeping them for whatever they deem to be summer fun clearly ain't from Texas. I mean, with the combined heat and humidity, Texas summers are like living in a video game swim and air glitch. Now, speaking of video games, recently Microsoft closed a deal to purchase Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. Microsoft had to jump through more obstacles than Pitfall Harry to close this deal, despite serious objections by both U.S. and European regulators.
Pitfall Harry, that was straight up for the Gen Xers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he jumped over him, not through him, mammal. Duh.
There were snakes and alligators. He was trying to avoid your kind, stupid.
Yeah, because he had no class. He wasn't stupid. He worked for Activision. Duh.
You might be on something there.
Yeah, that's true.
The tech giant completed the largest consumer tech acquisition since AOL bought Time Warner over 2 decades ago. And as we all know, there was never a bad DC Comics book, cartoon, TV show, or film after that merger, am I right?
Of course not.
It's gonna be fine.
So fine.
Now your brothers suck.
From childish pursuits, like Craig, to pursuing children, thousands of teen boys are being blackmailed after sending nudes to scammer accounts.
Don't send people pictures of your dingus.
Keep it to yourself. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, cases of financial sextortion have skyrocketed in the past few years, with 10,000 reports and anonymous tips in 2022 alone, and more than 12,500 by the end of July of this year. Teenage boys are the most common marks for this scheme, with the culprits using fake social media accounts to request sexually explicit images from the target, then using the photos to blackmail them. It has been said that there are 3 things that are guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and the power of boners to inhibit common sense.
Stupid front tails.
Meanwhile, the Church of Scientology, the Boy Scouts, and the Catholic Church have drafted a joint letter asking these blackmailers to, quote, stay in their lane. It's interesting that many of these scammer accounts are believed to be located in West Africa's Ivory Coast in Nigeria. So think before you send those nudes, boys. It might not be a hot teenage girl looking at your doink. It might be a Nigerian prince.
They'll be rich.
It's Royal Doink.
Royal doink. You're a royal doink.
Your mom's a Royal Doink, mammal.
Now, while we're on the subject of taking a minute to think before doing something stupid, Craig, maybe you should consider that the next time you're whipping out the tequila, vodka, and cranberry juice combos.
Maybe you should consider just not sucking so much.
White voters continue to move to the GOP in recent years. At the same time, college-educated white voters aligned themselves with the Democratic Party. It almost seems like the poor, undereducated white people are easier to trick into hating people who look and sound different than themselves.
Yeah, that tracks.
I seem to remember something like that happening in Europe in the 1920s. Of course, I learned about that in college, because red state public schools. aren't allowed to mention them anymore. Interestingly, it appears to be harder to hate guys named Hakeem, Arturo, and Jamal when you've just spent 4 years in video game and rock climbing clubs with them. Also, remember, future parents, having only one child eliminates even the possibility of drunk uncles. So you got that going for you.
Yeah, that's nice.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
A cache of around 800 ancient Greek scrolls discovered in a buried via in Herculaneum.
There it is.
Well, let's add that to the list of things that we need to put on the phonetics chart.
Herculaneum, mammal.
Herculaneum.
Herculaneum sounds
Herculaneum, not lanium.
Okay.
Herculaneum in snake speak.
In snake speak.
These scrolls
the
may...
proper speak.
Shut up, Craig. These scrolls may finally have a chance at being read. Herculaneum was beset by hot gases and volcanic mud from the same eruption of Mount Vesuvius that buried Pompeii. The scrolls themselves are too fragile and burnt to be opened without destroying them. However, using computer tomography similar to a CT scan, along with AI analysis software, both developed by Dr. Brent Seals, researchers have distinguished several letters from a few of the scrolls and even a single word. Porphyrius, which means purple. So, it's a series of ancient scrolls buried beneath volcanic ash and fire, and so affected by age and flame that they are impossible to open without imminent destruction. And these guys developed new and innovative technology to figure out what's inside it. I keep debating whether the apocalypse is coming through mankind's foolish excavation of ancient curses or the threat of the AI singularity, but I'd never imagine it'd be a fucking team up. Like, the box office on that one. Now, continuing the theme of science chasing the hidden, incomprehensible, and frightening secrets of the universe.
So, Lovecraft stuff.
Of course.
Yes.
Good old Hates Progress Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
NASA successfully
That guy
launched
was
a
racist.
new unmanned spacecraft to explore the asteroid known as Psyche. Based on terrestrial observations, this asteroid has an exposed nickel-iron core and is thought to be a remnant of an ancient planetary body from the initial formation of our solar system. Okay, if we end up adding the cosmic evil of the Elder Gods to this here horror flick, I think the plot's gonna be a bit bloated, you know? It's like Spider-Man 3, but on a Black Mirror existential terror level.
Yeah, mammal. It's like this whole segment's just an elevator pitch for a summer blockbuster. Probably won't be any good, but at least we'll have air conditioning, right?
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, you gotta take it where you can get it.
That's what she said, man.
That's what she said, man.
Got a few more things from the Booble in that intro.
Yeah, the booble.
Any hole is a goal.
Nice callback to the beginning, though.
Finally, in a shocking move to Texans and spooky season enthusiasts, H-E-B has already started rolling out bottles of eggnog to various stores throughout the state, courtesy of the 1836 Farms line of dairy products. To make matters appropriately horrifying, this line has a variant that combines the nog with Dr. Pepper.
What?
Now, I'm not sure whether to be mad at this family business for attempting to break the truce established between Thanksgiving and Christmas by moving the nog supply drop to mid-October, or applaud them for somehow making eggnog terrifying with this absolute abomination. Rumor has it, these spooky season eggnog enthusiasts are called hobnoglins.
No, they're not. They're, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call them. Hobnoglins.
That sounds oddly racist.
As soon as it gets in Craig's head, it stays around forever.
I'm going to say it with a hard R, too.
No.
Craig, we can't afford that.
Stop it.
Twittered.
And we need to get out of here before Craig starts a problem.
Alright, stick around, we'll be right back.
Yeah!
Strangle that snake. Nice to have y'all back. I'm just gonna jump right in with this one. Just hear me out. I fucking love the Halloween season. Like, you got the eerie atmosphere, everyone decorating and making costumes, and everywhere you turn, you feel the spooky spirit. As September comes to a close, you can already see those long-abandoned strip mall locations begin their Spirit Halloween transformations. Side note, I think those stores should be occupied year-round. It's not like you see many other businesses take up the empty lots, and it would make costuming for D&D, RTF, and theater productions, even some Renfest, a lot easier. It's a time for everyone to let their freak flag fly and either dress up as something they're a big fan of, go over the top on the fright factor, or just put together lingerie for a costume of a character that really doesn't fit that at all.
So it's
Seriously, who thought characters from Frozen need to be sexified? That shit ain't right.
Females got their front butts out.
Especially when it's Olaf. You needed a sexy Olaf.
I don't need to think about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's usually a time of togetherness and family trick-or-treating, crazy parties, and feeding frenzies on the local candy supplies. However, as great as spooky season is, it has its drawbacks, mainly in people who go out of their way to either prevent it, ruin the fun, or shove their own shit into it. The prime example here is retailers that cannot wait to start putting up Christmas shit even before Halloween begins. I like to save my ire for the important things in life. You know, shitty politicians, their psycho supporters, their laughable attempts at value signaling. I'll get back to that one later. But it infuriates me to walk into a local Walmart and see the garden section covered end to end with inflatable Rudolphs and Santas when it's not even the final week of October. It's still over 90 degrees out sometimes. It's baffling to me on so many levels. First, wait your goddamn turn, you greedy bastards. We had to work hard to extend the spooky spirit to the whole of October. And y'all's asses got December and bits of November and January from the fucking jump. Secondly, it doesn't even make sense from a profit's perspective. Who do y'all think is buying a 30-foot-tall Frosty 2 months in advance? I never even seen those things getting purchased in the first place. Finally, we have a truce on this shit. We've perfectly agreed. Y'all stay in December, we keep to October, and November is a neutral zone where we can both make fun of Thanksgiving. We swore this on the good name of Tim Burton. You ain't coming any closer. Anyway, my point is that if there's a bunch of wingnuts out there shouting to high heaven to keep the Christ in Christmas, how about y'all keep Christmas in December?
Yeah!
Testify, man.
This actually brings me to another issue that I see too much in these spookiest of seasons. Evangelicals getting all up in our business while we're just having a good time. Normally, it's not that big of a deal when Christians get all uppity over Halloween being sinful or the devil's night or crap like that. Most of the time, it's either pathetic, momentarily annoying, or kind of funny when everyone in the comment section immediately tells them to shut the fuck up. That wasn't too bad, but as of late, they've been getting sneaky. Have y'all seen those articles or posts encouraging parents to hand out Bible verses instead of candy?
Boo.
That is the biggest bullshit I've seen since the last time Craig swore he'd go to AA.
Hey, I wasn't lying, mammal. I went to Anacondas on Adderall. It was awesome. We got tons of stuff done.
Every time with this fucking noodle.
He's a danger noodle.
Danger noodle.
Yeah, danger to himself and others, really.
Yeah, true.
See, it's one thing to rail against the season, but it's an entirely another thing to go through the trouble of luring in trick-or-treaters with the allure of sweet candy victory, only to double-cross them and reveal that you've wasted their time. It's almost as bad as those fake $20 bills that people put in waiters' tips that turn out to be more Bible bullshit.
It's a bait and bitch.
Now, I'm Jewish, so Christmas isn't even my holiday. But even I can tell that this ain't an example of goodwill and charity to your fellow man. Now, on that note, that also brings up the issue of candy safety. The widespread prospect of checking your candy for any harmful materials that your kid might ingest on their spooky speedrun of Sugary Delight. I'm all for practicing safety on Halloween, since there are some weirdos that might be a danger to you or your little ones.
Like Jeebie.
Yeah. Don't say his name 3 times.
Okay.
It's like Beetlejuice. Namely, if someone's decorations edge a little bit towards Heaven's Gate, but God left the building style, maybe steer clear of that house. You might just end up with Bible verses or a cross in your face. Now, my whole thing with the prospect of someone sabotaging treats is just the logistics of it. It doesn't add up from my perspective, because what are the 2 things people are super concerned about finding? Razor blades and pot. Both seem like a waste of time, energy, and money for someone with malicious intent. Both of those things are expensive, and who the hell would waste good weed on some dumbass in a Fortnite costume? I mean, don't get me wrong, you should definitely keep an eye out for suspicious characters while trick-or-treating. Erring on the side of caution is one thing, but this level of panic is just old-fashioned paranoia. Now, despite all these issues and bring-downs of this spooky, scary skeleton surplus of a season, I still love Halloween. Honestly, some of these downsides make the season even better. It's a bit malicious, but knowing that my enjoyment of this frightful free-for-all is pissing off someone who is actively trying to ruin the fun for others brings a special sort of joy to my inky black heart. A similar feeling to doing this show, actually. Now I just have to find a way to get money for it.
Yeah, get money for Halloween.
No,
Stick-
money for the show.
Oh, for the show, yeah.
For
Money
the
for
show.
all of us.
Yes, money. Woo!
Money for your bottomless booze budget.
Yeah, more booze for the sink.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Thanks for joining us for another episode. We hope to be able to get out one episode per week. That was a bit ambitious of us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As you can tell by the past tensiness of the previous statement, once a week just ain't happening. We're going to try for one every 2 weeks, and we'll see how long that lasts. Things are getting a bit tight around here.
Yeah, they
Also, Bridget and I are about to launch a Kickstarter campaign for a documentary film that we are working on about drag performance in Texas. If you'd like to be put on the mailing list for the launch, leave us a comment so we can reach out to get your email address. You can also find ways to contact us in the About section of the channel. We're really excited about this film, and we hope that you can help us secure the funding to get it made. Anyways, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, it is what it is.